A New Law for the Implementation of Old Laws. Written by Sot. By Leon Qafzezi in the Balkan countries, but also in some of the countries that have just entered Europe, we have a considerable place for a legal constitutionality of the most advanced. The political class is already consolidated in a transition that, among other things, has served to examine, study and discover those laws that maintain in themselves a powerful efficiency for the fate of the country and especially the citizen, in whose service is our political class. But the disadvantage is that these advanced contemporary laws in content and form take on alienated performances, change skin like a chameleon when subjected to therapy of sub-laws. Instructions or DCMs, thrown for consensus for short-term pragmatic reasons, or when arbitrarily imposed, when this consensus is lacking. Then, these contemporary laws in their infancy go out of time and return to their primitive phase, when they begin to be implemented, being channeled into the private interest of politics. This always happens after a long literary phase. That contemporary laws do in the files of consolidated legality for the watchful eyes of the internationals. Definitely have a time of aging or quarantine. Until the time comes to wake up in a new form, but that in itself is a form of fossilized, but very efficient, and that speeds up and simplifies procedures government for an excellent, simplistic action in the background of a profitable, short-term irresponsibility, and which carries in itself a problem followed by some parliamentary investigative groups, which solve nothing in time and space, but only waste time. Time and nervous energy followed by an ordinary theatrical parliamentary confrontation, in which the position and the opposition lead to damage for months, instead of moving forward in consolidating the effective priority reforms so persistently required by the EU. So, inadvertently, these contemporary laws, during their illegally imposed metamorphoses, become a pure source from where corruption flows from top to bottom like a waterfall that floods the entire Albanian life with an invisible corruption in appearance, but very evident. So much so that the false image is created that the people themselves are corrupt and not politics. This, followed by a justice system that works with two standards, one for the people, to whom it gives the sentence quite generously, and a standard of inviolability for the politicians much talked about by itself. Endless accusations of corruption and capture of the state, from all sides chanting for justice in Parliament, and in the end, a lot of noise about nothing. Therefore, it would be appropriate, perhaps paradoxically, to save this 23-year-old show played with weak political actors Albanians, to reach a consensus to issue a law on all laws, which would take over the attribute of implementing the laws that sleep in the Albanian constitution, without finding implementation. The civilized world, which we are trying to imitate in an ugly way, does not change prosecutors, judges, or the administration, whenever one party comes to power and the other party comes out in opposition. Why does not it change the administration? Because it is based on the principles of meritocracy and not militancy or personal knowledge of X or Y nit. It is a class consolidated by law, which serves 90% of its citizens. If the prosecutor takes a nap on the files of crime, corruption, or whatever, the law acts on him. Which makes him an accomplice in 50% of the crime that he tries to cover illegally. Then he is between two fires. Pressure of the politician who has placed him in that post and who expects to reward him with impunity when he commits a crime because he owes it to his appointment. And the law that makes him an accomplice. In this case, from world experience, the people of law deviate from the law itself. The latter because its skin hurts. The emergence of such an effective law avoids routine and unconvincing confrontations, position opposition. Parliament does not waste time and deals with reforms. Because the law acts automatically, against anyone who has violated the law, the sovereign people so rumored. This is first and foremost an uncompromising fight against corruption in the vertical dimension.